As part of the CNBC Cures initiative, we're spotlighting the biggest issues facing the rare disease community, talking to some of the most influential voices in the space about where they see bottlenecks that are preventing life-saving treatments from getting to the people who need them. Bio CEO and rare disease parent John Crowley sat down with me for a conversation about his journey as both a rare disease parent and a CEO fighting for change within the industry. Long before entering the world of science, Crowley was a parent who discovered that both of his very young children had Pompe disease, and the only path to treatment would be developing one himself. Crowley has dedicated more than 20 years of his life working on treatments for Pompe disease and other diseases as well, and he's the reason that his kids are not only both alive today, but also thriving. It took him 3 years and grueling funding rounds to develop a treatment, but he says that the path to new treatments today is much different, with new challenges on a federal level and globally.
We're in the golden age of medicine. We're not on the cusp anymore. Take cystic fibrosis. We're curing these diseases. And the biggest challenges, Becky, are man-made. We're getting in our own way. You know, we're denying capital to innovators. We're putting risk and uncertainty in the regulatory process where it doesn't need to be. It's gotten to the point where it just takes too much time, too much money, there's too much uncertainty and inconsistency to develop medicines, which raises the cost of capital, which means that fewer companies get formed, fewer new technologies move forward, most of which we know are not going to succeed. They're going to fail somewhere along the way. So it's never going to be without significant risk.
Crowley says our outdated drug regulatory policies are slowly weakening the United States as the global leader in developing new treatments for rare diseases, and is helping give rise to what he sees as one of the biggest threats to the U.S. biotech industry. That's China. Over the last 2 decades, China has streamlined its drug development regulatory process, making it cheaper and faster to develop new treatments there. That sent a flood of capital away from the United States innovation centers like Boston and San Francisco and into China's booming biotech industry.
I go back to even just a year ago, or 10 years ago, maybe working in China. There were maybe a couple of hundred true R&D biotech companies in China. By our count, there's over 4,000 today. It used to be, you know, Me Too products or lower technologies. Now it's very high technology, and they're doing things better and faster. We don't need to out-China China, we just need to out-compete China. Don't apply the same standards for a rare disease with 100 kids to a disease with millions of people. And it's not just flexibility, it's a unique regulatory environment, and that's what we need, and that's the leadership we need at FDA.
Crowley says we need a modernized and efficient FDA in order to keep ahead of China in biotech innovation that will ultimately bring hope to millions of people who are living with rare diseases. We take a deep dive into the rise of China's biotech industry in this week's edition of the CNBC Cures newsletter. You can sign up for it and get details on the CNBC Cures Summit at cnbc.com/cures, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. We'll have a lot more of our conversation with John Crowley in the coming weeks, along with some other really moving conversations. And guys, I should point out, John Crowley is the one who was the CEO of Amicus Therapeutics from 2005 to 2022. That was the company that was just sold the last 3 or 4 weeks for $4.8 billion to BioMarin. He was the executive chairman there until the end, but he's also been the head since 2022 of this biotech industry group, Bio. But it's a pretty amazing story how, you know, he switched into biotech from marketing because his 2 children were very sick with this Pompe disease, which is a disease that doesn't allow your body to clean out, to break down complex sugars that are called glycogen. It damages the cells in the heart, the skeletal muscles, and respiratory. It's a progressive disease, and without treatment, it leads to death.
Wow. Amazing. Unbelievable that I remember before he had successfully found something for it, he was set out to do it, and then he went and did it. Still young. Amazing. Well, we will. I'd like to have him actually in studio.
Yeah, we will. We'll get him. We've had him before, but we'll get him back.